President Museveni calls for judicial reforms. Prime Minister Nabanja commissioned 70 irrigation schemes. While Pope Francis lies in state at St. Peter's Basilica. And leader of opposition implores the judiciary to dispose of cases expeditiously. Hello once again. President Yoweri Museveni has called for judicial reforms and ordered a thorough investigation into a controversial land eviction in Chiboga district, which he described as a form of injustice. The president made the appeal today during the swearing-in ceremony of the recently appointed Deputy Chief Justice, Dr. Flavia Nzeija, at State House in Entebbe.
Flavia Nzeija, having been appointed Deputy Chief Justice of the Republic of Uganda.
During the swearing-in ceremony of the new Deputy Chief Justice, President Museveni commended outgoing Deputy Chief Justice, Honorable Justice Richard Butera, for the 44 years of service to the judiciary of Uganda and congratulated Dr. Nzeija upon his appointment.
Now, I congratulate Justice Nzeija for being appointed Deputy Chief Justice now.
The President welcomed the Honorable Dr. Nzeija's remarks about outdated and irrational legal practices, particularly in the matters of inheritance and land disputes.
Well, I'm glad that he's a revolutionary from what he's saying, that he wants to do away with the irrational colonial laws and practices, which we long ago pointed out that this really distort justice in Uganda.
Dr. Nzeija, upon assuming his new role, vowed to address outdated legal procedures that burden ordinary citizens, particularly in inheritance and family disputes.
I commend the immediate past Deputy Chief Justice for invaluable contribution to the Court of Appeal or Constitutional Court and the judiciary in general. During the tenure of the retired Deputy Chief Justice Richard Butera, the output at the Court of Appeal and Constitutional Court greatly improved.
President Museveni thus emphasized the need for a justice system that aligns with societal realities.
The example he gave about inheritance is a very good example, because you bring in people who are first of all, who are very far. The geography, Administrator General is only one in Kampala. So I can see that the peasants get a lot of hassle.
Turning to the land dispute in Kiboga, President Museveni narrated how he was compelled to personally intervene after learning of an eviction of a farmer, one called Badru Mwanje, by a man identified as Ainebiona. Describing the act as unjust and elitist, the president called on the acting principal judge to investigate the magistrates involved in this case.
Congratulations, my lord, the Honorable the Deputy Chief Justice, Dr. Flavia Nzeija.
On his part, the Chief Justice of Uganda, His Lordship Alphonse Owiny-Dollo, also commended outgoing Deputy Chief Justice, Honorable Justice Butera, for the job well done and congratulated Dr. Nzeija on his appointment as the new Deputy Chief Justice of Uganda, describing him as a visionary and dedicated judicial officer.
Your Excellency, I take this honor to warmly congratulate my brother, the Honorable Justice Dr. Flavia Nzeija, appointment and eventual inauguration as the new Deputy Chief Justice of the Uganda.
Dr. Nzeija previously served as Principal Judge and has also held positions in the High Court of Uganda.
As I assume duties at the court, I am confident that you have built a strong foundation for me to carry on modernization of justice delivery in the Court of Appeal / Constitutional Court.
In a moving tribute, Dr. Nzeija dedicated the achievement to his late mother, describing her as a resilient woman who single-handedly raised him after the death of his father.
Your Excellency, I dedicate this milestone to my late mother. Of all the children in our family, I was the only one born at home. My father was a teacher and he could afford hospital bills, but my mother was a peasant. Like Jesus, who was born in a manger, my mother produced me alone in the kitchen.
Dr. Zeja also acknowledged that administering justice in Uganda is not without challenges, noting that some laws and processes feel foreign and inaccessible to ordinary citizens. The ceremony was attended by Pius Bigirimana, the Permanent Secretary to the Judicial, Honorable Justice Butera, the outgoing Deputy Chief Justice, other judicial officers, among others.
And President Yoweri Museveni has called on local leaders to take an active role in mobilizing citizens to support and sustain urban development initiatives. He emphasized that for Uganda to achieve meaningful and sustainable urban growth, it must be a collaborative effort between the government and the people. This was during the launch of the Urban Roads Manual Program at the National Urban Development Conference held at Speak Resort Munyonyo in Kampala.
Rapid population growth, inadequate infrastructure, informal settlements and governance issues are among the challenges affecting urban development in Ugandan cities. Aiming to support cities and municipalities in infrastructure development, the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, in partnership with USMAID, led the first ever National Urban Development Conference and launched the Urban Roads Manual Program. The conference was held under the theme Accelerating Urban Development Through Infrastructure. In a speech delivered by General Edward Katumba Wamala, the president urged local leaders to be proactive in rallying communities around urban development efforts.
Development alone is not enough, though it must come first. Development is a collective good for everyone. A road belongs to the community, but an individual can use or utilize the road transport to transport their crops from the farm to the market. Therefore, infrastructure benefits people who are engaged in production of either a good or a service.
The Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakova, addressed the critical challenge of rapid population growth in urban cities. She noted that without inclusive and strategic planning, this growth could overwhelm existing infrastructure and public services.
By 2050, it is projected that 50% of our population will be staying in these urban areas. The above challenges requires a lot of concerted effort from all stakeholders and development partners.
State Minister for Urban Development Obinga Kania echoed these views, emphasizing the need for smart infrastructure, strategic investment, and community-driven solutions.
Experience sharing and comprehensive lending in order for our cities and urban areas to become productive, competitive, inclusive, and innovative.
Also in attendance was the Deputy Inspector General of Government, Dr. Patricia Chan, who stressed the importance of transparency and integrity in implementation of urban infrastructure projects.
We have been involved in monitoring and evaluating government projects, and this ensures that public resources are used efficiently and also effectively.
The newly launched Urban Roads Manual Program aims to standardize roads design and maintenance across urban centers, promoting safe and more efficient roads network nationwide. Susan Inabugude for UBC News.
And the Prime Minister, Robina Nabanja, has commissioned 70 irrigation schemes constructed by government to help farmers improve on their production capacity in the district of Kakumiro in Bunyoro sub-region. The irrigation schemes have cost taxpayers over 1 billion shillings, including the contribution from each beneficiary of the projects.
In a bid to improve productivity of the farmers across the country, the government of Uganda initiated a project that allows farmers contribute 25% of the total cost to have clean water for production and irrigation. One such beneficiary district is Kakumiro, which has so far constructed 70 irrigation schemes at a cost of 1.8 billion.
Abalimi bano abali wano
balina contribution gye bakoze ya $2,208 mu emitwalo 15,800. N'ebyo ebyali bitegekeddwa okukola omwaka guno tulina bye tukozeeko ng'abalimi ba contributions $9,100,000.
The Prime Minister of Uganda commissioned the 70 schemes by visiting some of the beneficiary farmers.
It is my honor to officially commission Nabatan's irrigation scheme. Yeah. Nabatan's irrigation scheme. She will be having plants. She will have to be able to plant in all seasons of the year. And government is a good day.
Nabatan's a poultry farmer in Chamujanju village led the Prime Minister to her farm of 7,000 birds that produces 80 trays of eggs daily, away from 3 trays from 200 birds.
Farm eno yatandika 2019. 2019 twatandika n'enkoko 2 ezibiika amagi. Ezo enkoko 2 zaatuweebwa district y'e Kakumiro. We twazirunda ezo enkoko 2 zaali zituwa olunaku tray 3 ku tray 5. Ekyo kyatuwaliriza okweyongera maaso okulunda enkoko. Right now when njogerera capacity ya farm eri ku nkoko 7 okuva ku nkoko 2.
They explained to the Prime Minister the benefits after the district constructed a water irrigation facility at their farm.
Farm eno omwaka oguwedde nga gutandika twali tusasula emitwalo 5 ku mitwalo 6 nga tuzisasula ba national water. Ezo sente zaali nyingi nnyo. Naye district yatutuukirira netubulira ku program ya micro scale irrigation. Eyo program eyo ya co-funding. Ebintu bye baatuleetera biri mu bukadde 25 naye twasasula obukadde 5 bokka ne tufuna amazzi.
I officially commissioned this water.
She also commissioned a water facility that will supply the people of Katikara Town Council in Kakumiro district.
It is my honor now to officially commission this water project for the people of Katikara. Congratulations, I want to and that's a powerful solar panel.
So from here, it goes to the pump house, which is this house.
Yes.
From the pump house, it goes to the what? It goes to the reservoir.
It is solar powered.
Both hydro and solar.
But a reservoir?
Yes.
How many liters?
60,000 liters.
60,000?
Yes.
To commission this water source that was constructed.
Nabanya also commissioned water for production at Kajuma Farm, belonging to Claire Kajuma, to provide water for the animals.
Kajuma Kijwenge Mixed Farm serves a compelling example of how private agriculture enterprises can effectively collaborate with the government programs to realize comprehensive rural transformation.
She advised farmers to engage in high-value crops.
Enterprise selection. Otunge chikurugamu sente nyingi. Murugo mbicholi. Ebicholi bikwetaaga nka Kajuma onu. Kajuma so kulima ebicholi yika 10 ati kwa kuzifuna. Naye iwaina yikeemo kageno mbicholi oweire nikoli kafu. Ebitoke bikuzara sente. Emwani zikuzara kurungi sente kurungi. Emwani buli mwaka buli yikeza ala $2.4 kubaberera bamazima. The way to go is high value crops.
His Excellency the Papal Nuncio to Uganda, Archbishop Luigi Bianco, has eulogized the late Pope Francis, describing him as a man who lived a life of service and dedication. While addressing the media on Wednesday afternoon from his residence in Kampala, Archbishop Bianco called on all Ugandans to join in mourning Pope Francis through prayers and memorial services in churches across the country until his burial.
His Excellency Archbishop Rich Bianco, the Papua New Show to Uganda, has addressed journalists to readjust the late Pope Francis.
To use his last energies, he was very sick, very weak, but he wanted to use his last energies to go out.
His address comes in 3 days after the death of the Holy Father of the Roman Catholic Pope Francis.
So we are grateful to God for this great legacy we have received.
In fact, according to the Archbishop Bianco, Pope Francis has been a pillar of peace, charity and love.
All the popes did a lot to promote peace. It's also in their ministry, because always there are tensions, conflicts, also wars.
His Excellency Rich Bianco notes that Pope's legacy is vast and will live on for generations.
And all the Christians now are called to put in practice this important teaching.
At a personal level, Bianco is very grateful to have been appointed by the late pontiff to represent him in various endeavors, including Uganda.
I can remember is to be a father, to his attention to all the people, and also the attention to his representatives in all the countries. I am grateful to have been his representative here in Uganda during this time.
As his bio said soon on Saturday, for now the world has been involved in the process of voting who the next pope could be, and for Africa has seemingly shown interest. However, with Uganda's only living Cardinal Emmanuel Wamala clocking 98 years of age, according to the Papua New Show, Uganda loses the right to vote since his age bracket is above the requirement of 8 years and below.
Pope Paul VI established it, but the cardinal with more than 80 years lose the right to vote for the new pope. And these cardinals with more than 8 years can participate in this meeting that are every day in Rome, but they are not obliged to participate.
According to Archbishop Rich Bianco, even after the burial, the 9-day period of mourning will continue for the Pope's repose.
All the local communities are invited to remember him in the Holy Mass and in the prayers. Here in Kampala, myself, I will celebrate Holy Mass this Friday at 12 o'clock in Lubaga Cathedral.
Robert Nyango, UBC News.
And many Ugandans have continued to mourn the demise of Pope Francis, who died on Monday morning, more especially those who had close who had close encounters with him. Many key figures in Uganda visited the Vatican and met with the Pope, including the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, Prime Minister Robin Nabbanja, and former State Minister for Public Service, now Legislator for Northern Region for Older Persons, Catherine Muvechinja, who shares her experience having met the Pope.
Heading the Life Ascending Uganda. So we went together, 3 of us, and it was a very, very good meeting. Then, towards the end of the meeting, we had audience with the Pope Francis, whom I found very, very unique, very warm, very compassionate. He really was a loving person, a caring person, a humble person, who led by very good examples. So if you follow the life of late Pope Francis, you find that he has accomplished a lot. And we are very grateful to God for making him at least reach the age of 88. And during that 88, he did a lot of work. One could even see that even on the last Sunday, before he passed on, he was able to come out, greet the congregation, move around, hugging mothers and children. And so you find that Papa was very unique and full of love for humanity. So we thank God for his life. And I personally have a photograph which I took with him. When in that photograph, we were actually talking about Uganda. I was conveying the greetings from Uganda to him, and he said, "And I bless you." Then he asked me, I said, "Papa would like you to pray for our country, to have peace, and also to have peace in the world." And he prayed for me. He touched my head and prayed for me, and he prayed for all of us. He was shaking hands with every delegate who went, and we were so many. I was surprised that he was able to shake hands with each and every one of us. And so, what I can attribute to the late Pope is that when I came back to Uganda in 2022, immediately after we came back, COVID came. And so when COVID came, there was total lockout of every activity. And immediately in 2021, the opportunity came for the older persons to go to Parliament. And so, because of the blessing which I had received from the Pope, I came out, I started moving around to consult the people, to go to Parliament, to represent the older persons, and everybody gave me the blessings. And so I went and became a member of Parliament representing older persons. So I know Pope Francis gave me that blessing himself.
And leaders from the National Fellowship of Born-Again Pentecostal Churches have paid tribute to the late Pope Francis, praising his unwavering spirit and courage in delivering a message of hope on Easter Sunday with a faint voice but an undiminished determination.
Across the globe, tributes continue to flow freely, not out of a religious obligation, but in mourning for a man who made holiness feel human. Even in his final hours, Pope Francis showed remarkable strength.
Even recently, when he was very frail after that long illness, he still could not remain locked up in his room. He purposed to get out and bless the people during Easter Mass.
The provincial overseer of the National Fellowship of Born-Again Pentecostal Churches in Mbarara City, who also doubles as the overseer of Flames Churches, Bishop Davis Arizona, described him as a peacemaker in his heartfelt tribute. In a world often obsessed with prestige and power, Pope Francis has been celebrated for choosing humility and service over status.
As born-again Pentecostal churches, we stand with our Catholic brothers and sisters to mourn the passing of Pope Francis. Many people, when they are sent to power, their life changes completely. Their lifestyle changes. The way they receive people, the way they communicate, everything changes about them. So they are consumed by power. But we didn't see this happen to Pope Francis. He remained calm. He remained down to earth. And he continues to speak to many leaders today according to the life that he lived.
He will be remembered for acts of deep compassion to prisoners, many of whom had never experienced kindness from authority.
His humility and simplicity. He opted to live in the Vatican guest house rather than staying in the traditional papal palace. You know, I think that was so remarkable. We also see him washing the feet of the migrants, of the prisoners.
Bishop Davis says his 2015 visit to Uganda, along with trips to at least 10 African countries, is remembered as a pilgrimage of love, a clear sign that Africa held a special place in his heart.
Yeah, he loved peace. He wanted to see the world full of peace.
Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
The Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda has joined the rest of the world in mourning Pope Francis, commending him for his commitment to global peace, stability and environmental conservation. Speaking at the opening of the three-day third Public Finance Management Conference at Imperial Resort Beach Hotel in Entebbe, Institute's Deputy President, CPA Ronald Mutumba, described the late Pope as a transformative spiritual leader who transcended political and cultural boundaries.
The Deputy Governor of Bank of Uganda, Professor Augustus Nwagaba, has asked Ugandans, especially accountants, to take the lead in promoting morality, shunning corruption, and embracing accountability. Nwagaba, who was the keynote speaker at the Accountants Conference themed Public Finance Management Systems for Sustainable Service Delivery, said that through green economy accounting and ensuring value for money, accountants can help grow Uganda's economy from the current $50.2 billion to $500 billion by the year 2040.
Many countries which have developed have a culture. Many countries have not developed because of having a lot of resources. Never. Many countries have developed because of having good people who are brought up well. They have a culture of goodness, a culture of humanism, a culture where our mothers, like most of us who come from Kigezi, I've already told you, adopted salvation very early. And our mothers told us to do good.
Professor Nwagaba emphasized that doing good today builds lasting foundations for future generations.
By stealing all that money, what are you going to achieve? What message are you sending, especially to your children? You are stealing money, giving your children, they don't have 5 million to go to school, that's pocket money. What kind of values system are you trying to build? So in Uganda, we need soul searching. You know, we need soul searching. Search yourself. In Ruchigaro Nyankore, it is Kwechaka.
The Institute's Deputy President, CPA Rhoda Ngonzi, described the late Pope as a transformative spiritual leader who transcended political and cultural boundaries.
We commiserate with Christians around the world during these 9 days of mourning. And ladies and gentlemen, I request for half a minute of silence in honor.
He asked accountants to help build bridges for the children through integrity in service and financial stewardship.
During training, we have got a specific area of training that is called professional ethics that has got emphasis. So you go through this process as part of the training. Other than that, during the training, we prepare our students that the journey of being a professional includes volunteering to be regulated.
The Institute's Chief Executive Officer, CPA Derek Nkanja, noted that the conference aims to promote a culture of accountability and financial integrity.
It's a think tank to sharpen each other, to know what the profession brings on table when we are doing public finance management conference. The theme for today is about service delivery. So our aim is to ensure that it is not just about spending money, it's about delivering services to the citizens of Uganda.
CPA Derek Nkanja revealed that insights from over 1,500 participants, both physical and virtual, will be submitted to government for consideration for the national development planning.
And also we attract the highest number of foreign direct investment. That's what will cause our growth, what's going to cause our growth. I'm very pleased with you.
And as the world continues to mourn the passing of Pope Francis, the Bishop of the West Rwenzori Diocese has delivered a stirring message from the heart of St. Barnabas Cathedral in Bomadu. Addressing the congregation, Right Reverend Barnabas Tebaijuka Chengo called for humility, unity and peace as a tribute to the late pontiff.
The Bishop of West Rwenzori Diocese has asked his congregation to honor Pope Francis by being humble peacemakers, especially now that the country is approaching the 2026 elections.
The laity who have come to be with us, we invite you, Jehovah.
The bishop highlighted the remarkable growth of the diocese from just 3 archdeaconries to 6, a modern cathedral, new churches and expanded support for church-based schools. He created the transformation to divine grace. However, Bishop Chengo also acknowledged pressing regional challenges, natural disasters, climate change and economic hardship, a shortened cock season due to drought that has severely affected the local farmers and the church programs.
Twebaza omutonzi kubanga twatandika nga tutulina kintu kyonna
nga tusikamire ku gundi ku sente z'omu kanisa zokka naye kati twagulako ettaka ennimiro za kokowa kati naffe tuli mu bantu abatunda kokowa ng'obulabirizi.
He praised the government's effort on security but urged greater investment in Bundibujo's infrastructure and called on President Museveni to visit in a visit that hasn't happened in nearly 10 years.
Kyosaba gavumenti esituke eje tutaase. Tandikira eri Kichwamba every corner binya byerere kubanga the weight eziyitamu it is greater than the vehicle.
In terms of physical growth, we are moving on well. Our cathedral now has standard pews, call them chairs. We have managed to buy land for the diocese. We've managed to complete the perimeter wall around the bishop's residence. Right now we are constructing a guest wing within the bishop's residence for the big visitors like the Archbishop and the others.
Looking ahead to the 2026 general elections, the bishop urged the political leaders to prioritize peace over partnership.
Nsaba bana byabufuzi ekisooka mutubuulire bye mugenda kutukolera ababaddeyo mutubuulire bye batukoledde muleme kutuleetera ebigambo ebinaatuleetera confusion tubeere mu bumu kubanga ndaba obumu bwali butandise ate bugenda mu maaso.
And the motto remains that Pope Francis left his residence at Casa Santa Marta this morning for the last time and now lies in state for the next 3 days in St. Peter's Basilica. Cardinal Kevin Farrell Kamalengo, acting head of the Holy Roman Church, presided at the rite of translation from the Casa Santa Marta to the Vatican Basilica this morning. Over 20,000 people gathered in the square to pay their respects to the late Pope. Funeral will take place on Saturday at 10 a.m. in St. Peter's Square. And with that, we'll take a quick break. When we return, more details.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Fun battery phone.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Capote Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Capote deal and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Capote Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC.
A smile that is white, fresh and beautiful is a smile to be proud of. Discover new Colgate White and Fresh for the whole family with high quality and an incredible price.
Mala ngenze mbonipa Sam nazanya roto ganyiga star 278 then hash kuja kubango yingide mukazanyo nga sente zino zimula wano zina wangu zino wano milioni 10 46 ebindi wanasooka biraba ku TV nange saasoka kikiriza ninga mulaye kino kiyinza okubanga kituufu oba yaddala si bya bufere sente zo nazifunye zo nazikoze eki naziwangudde amasanyu nina mangi ebyoto byange byembadde njagala ngenda bituukiriza.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Tuba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulator.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels, and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Welcome back, and now let's get into the URA Commissioner as the URA Commissioner answers some questions from taxpayers.
URA Commissioner.
The next question is from Mr. Joseph Nsubuga Patrick from Tanzania. This is from the East Africa. Welcome, Joseph Patrick. And your question is, limit to cars for a returning citizen. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Now, interesting, Joseph from Tanzania is asking about a returning citizen bringing a car back to Uganda. But also important to know that Tanzania and Uganda, we are all now under a common Customs Act. We call it East African Community Customs Management Act. So the same law that applies in Tanzania applies here in Uganda and all the other members of the East African community. And this is what the law says. It says for a returning citizen, yes, there is a limit on the number of cars you can bring in tax-free, and that limit is 1 car. That car must be a car for personal use. In other words, you cannot bring in a trailer. That would be a commercial vehicle. If you want to bring a trailer, you will have to pay taxes on it. But if you've been working abroad and you're returning as a citizen, not just for a visit, but to returning permanently, you're entitled to bringing in 1 car tax-free. The condition is that you should have owned that car for at least 12 months. So if you've been using a car abroad, it is registered in your names, and you have owned it for 12 months or more, you are free to return it back to the country of your residence tax-free. You will pay no tax. There is a process. You'll have to apply, bring evidence that you are returning, and bring evidence that the car is yours and you've owned it for at least 12 months. Then you'll get a red number plate, tax-free, and you'll drive it for the rest of its life.
URA Commissioner. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them.
And Uganda Broadcasting Corporation has initiated a strategic overhaul to align its operations with Uganda's 4th National Development Plan, focusing on modernizing infrastructure, revitalizing content, and addressing systematic inefficiencies. This was at a high-stakeholder meeting with its board of directors, top administration and managers while discussing their draft budget estimates and work plans for the financial year 2025-26.
During the meeting, attended by board members, administration and departmental managers, it was highlighted that the corporation is marking a pivotal shift from top-down planning to a bottom-up approach that prioritizes audience needs and staff input.
The other option which we are currently discussing with the marketing team, Alfred and William, has been to outsource our very own research firm. There's several research firms in the country. Some have come to us before, and they can do this for us. And the advantage with this, because the other one is national, and sometimes you can't dictate the question they're asking in the market. The one we would outsource ourselves would have specific questions of our interest.
We are entering a crucial period. It's a national election early next year, but the work has already started. And I'm sure you must be under serious scrutiny. So we also work behind doors, but a lot of the work is shouldered by you, who have to do more with less.
The meeting emphasized restructuring UBC's 4 TV stations and 11 radio stations to enhance competitiveness in Uganda's rapidly evolving media landscape.
As the national broadcaster, we believe that the service we provide cuts across all the interventions of NDP4. And this is something that we are going to be meeting in NPA, National Planning Authority, about, and see how we align all activities to make sure that we deliver the common good, which is broadcasting and communication.
Program-based budgeting means what do you contribute to in the realization of the entire picture of the government. UBC cuts across all sectors. Whoever is implementing an initiative, they must come to UBC so they can speak to the nation. They can speak to the citizens to tell them what they are doing. Let it be health, let it be education, let it be water, everywhere.
Government efforts to alleviate financial burdens, including settling UBC's tax areas and transitioning majority of the staff pay to the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance this financial year, were highlighted.
We are trying to make things better, and that's why we are always telling the managers to make sure that UBC will get money. We get ways of stopping the leakages. We get ways of looking better before they fund us, and they don't have any reason as to why they shouldn't fund us.
A 6-pillar strategy was presented to the board with the following objectives: modernizing infrastructure, enhancing programming, optimizing staffing, strengthening market leadership, institutionalizing governance, and diversifying revenue.
As UBC, we do have internally generated funds, which has also evolved to over 10 billion now, and that is what government is supplementing. But we expect that if we can find some funds and do digitalization of all our business processes, we shall be in position to actually collect more than what we are collecting now.
UBC's workforce exceeds 400 employees, with roles spanning administrative, management, on-air and off-air functions. This broad distribution highlights the corporation's operational complexity and significant human and capital resources required to manage its diverse broadcasting service. Wadulo Arnold Mark for UBC News in Nakasero, Kampala.
And the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, has rallied the NRM district chairpersons to promote unity as the country heads to the polls come 2026. NRM district chairpersons led by Mike Mukula of Eastern Region paid a courtesy visit to the Speaker at Parliament. Leaders pledged to support Anita Among in her bid to become the second NRM national vice chairperson, female, a position currently being held by the former Speaker, Rebecca Kadaga.
The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, has held a meeting with the NRM district chairpersons from different districts who had paid her a visit at Parliament.
Tutamutetea, tutamutetea, tutamutetea.
The Speaker reiterated her bid to become the second national vice chairman, female, NRM. This was welcomed by her visitors.
I am still ready to serve you in the capacity of the second vice chairperson in charge of female for the mighty party. And of course, you know, when I'm in that position, you know that mobilization for the mighty party will be perfect. I'm a very good mobilizer, and I come with very clean hands in peace and with unity. So for me, I am going to offer myself to be used by the party to do work for the party, for the good of the party.
We want to promise that we are with you because we have been watching your leadership, and we want to be with you throughout. That's why we are saying, tutamutetea, tutamutetea, tutamutetea.
Speaker Among urged the chairpersons to preach more of unity as the country heads to the polls next year.
We must leave this party a united and a more strong party. We should not allow our party to break because we've gone into election, so other people are hurt in one way or the other. So when we are doing this campaign, we must not use any vulgar language, any abusive language. We must go and talk to the voters with simplicity.
The NRM Vice Chairperson, Eastern Region, Mike Mukula, tasked the district chairpersons to formulate winning strategies in favor of Speaker Anita Among.
Comrades, we have a duty. We have a duty, and you know that the work of a party is continuous work, because without the support of the grassroots, ours as a party, as the president says all the time, is mass. It's a mass party. It's up to us now to strengthen the mistakes that have been made in the past. We will continue to energize and support you.
Lydia Chomkama and Gloria Guitabinji, Parliament.
And Minister of State for Veteran Affairs, Honorable Uda Abason Oleru, has commissioned a new showroom for armoured vehicles aimed at improving client access to UPDF manufactured products. This development is expected to allow potential customers to view, assess, and familiarize themselves with the vehicles before making a purchase, given the long distance to the Nakasongola manufacturing plant. The minister said that this initiative aligns with efforts to enhance UPDF's defense capabilities while also providing secure mobility solutions to individuals, financial institutions, and security agencies.
The National Enterprise Corporation, which is the commercial arm of the Uganda People's Defence Forces, has officially opened the next straight armoured vehicle showroom at Abayita Ababiri along Entebbe Road. This facility is designed to bring the products closer to clients.
Since our manufacturing and assembly plant is in Nakasongola, Nakasongola is 139 kilometers from Kampala, which is a distance, and it's also within a military complex that is not accessible to many of you. In order to increase brand visibility, we took a decision to open a showroom here at Abayita Babiri, strategically located on the main highway to the Entebbe International Airport.
NEC manufactures a range of defense and civilian products through a joint venture with the United Arab Emirates-based Strait Group at the Nakasongola Armored Vehicle Plant.
The joint venture agreement provided, among others, that the Strait Group would fully fund the design, the construction, and equipping of the plant, transfer the technology and know-how, in addition to transferring skills by providing on-job training to selected NEC and UPDF technical personnel at the group facilities in UAE.
So we save millions of lives of the soldiers, we save millions of lives of people, VIP, peacekeeper missions, and we're very proud of this. And every year we're going forward with the new technologies. Now we're in the process of doing air drones, which will help to protect the borders, will protect the oil lines, fishery, and other stuff.
The plant currently has the capacity to produce up to 40 armored vehicles per month, targeting both domestic and international markets.
And we have signed a few contracts where we are going to be selling to other countries, especially in the region.
Now, the civilian bullet-resistant vehicle costs between 500 to 900 million Uganda shillings. This is one of the products manufactured and produced by the National Enterprise Corporation. And once you get this Land Cruiser, be rest assured that your safety is guaranteed. But man, the door is really very heavy.
Of course, it's your choice how much what kind of car you want to see it, okay?
And this facility will play a key role in supporting our military's efforts to protect our nation.
Huda Abason, State Minister for Veteran Affairs, reaffirmed the government's commitment to strengthening national security and readiness to respond to emergencies.
We recognize the critical role that armored vehicles play in safeguarding our population, including those who work in high-risk environments, such as law enforcement, emergency responders, and humanitarian workers. By showing a wide range of the armored vehicles, we demonstrate our dedication to providing effective solutions for the protection of our citizens.
With such innovations, the Uganda People's Defense Forces is enhancing the country's defense capabilities, promoting technology, and as well reducing the reliance of imported vehicles into the country. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
And the Leader of Opposition in Parliament, Joel Senyonyi, has expressed concern over the excessive number of prisoners. The maximum holding capacity of prisoners is 22,000 inmates, but Uganda Prison Services holds 79,000 prisoners, of which 37,000 are on remand. Senyonyi has implored government, particularly the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, to ensure expeditious trial of cases or else release those on remand who have taken long without trial. Senyonyi and other MPs had gone to Luzira prison to check on the political prisoners.
By 10:30 a.m., opposition members of parliament led by their leader Joel Senyonyi arrived at Luzira prisons to check on the political prisoners. After security check, only MPs were allowed to access the prisoners' premises, as journalists kept waiting. At around 3:30 p.m., MPs returned, and the leader of opposition, Joel Senyonyi, addressed the media.
We have several prisoners at Luzira, Chigo, Chitalia, who are being held there, not because they are being prosecuted, but because they are being persecuted. These individuals, they were sent to jail by the General Court Martial. The Supreme Court said you have got no jurisdiction over civilians. In fact, the General Court Martial is not meant to be a court. What we have been bothered about all of this while is, why are these people still being held in jail? And yet the Supreme Court said the General Court Martial has got no authority and jurisdiction over them.
Senyonyi expressed concern over the dire conditions in prisons.
Prisons across the country have got 79,000 inmates. 37,000 of those are on remand. The biggest quandary about this is the holding capacity of all the prisons in Uganda is 22,000. People sleep back to back. So it's easy for disease to spread and many other habits, as you have heard, and so on. And of course, the general discomfort, because just because somebody is in jail, either because they have been convicted or they are on remand, that does not mean that they cease to become human beings. The congestion in prisons across the country is problematic.
He further implored the judiciary and the Justice Ministry to ensure a timely disposal of cases. Last week, Parliament objected the proposal to build more prisons, asking the authorities to expedite cases and avoid backlog.
The most recent time, Honorable Norbert Mao came out to say, well, we are working on it and so on. You have held these people for over 4 years. A number of them have been in jail for over 4 years. What exactly are you investigating that you've not investigated for 4 years? Some people have been on remand for several years. Why? Why are their matters not being...
tukwaniriza waka eri ebisanyusa. Eri Wi-Fi buli wamu. Eri speedy za internet eza waggulu. Eri obukuumi. Eri obuyambi obuli mu ddaala erisooka. Eri okwanguyirizibwa. Tukwaniriza waka eri MTN Wakanet. Internet ensukulumu eri buli maka. Kyalira www.mtn.co.ug /wakanet. Tukwaniriza waka nga tuli wamu tewali kitulema.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotellaconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
Life in Uganda today comes with so many uncertainties.
Where will Madam get Kameza if I get an accident and can't work?
If anything happens to me, what will Junior eat?
Yeah, Kale Musa is still in the hospital. Guy is missing a lot of money here.
With a monthly payment of only 3,000 shillings off your Equity personal account for Equi-Life Insurance, you will be entitled to 50,000 shillings hospital cash per night spent in a registered facility, up to 20 nights every year. And your family will receive 3 million shillings in case of your death. Visit your nearest Equity agent to sign up today or call 0312 327 000 for assistance.
And now in sports, the Caring Heart Schools Premier League has continued with action involving the primary section at Kagula Hill, Kachiri in Mwakiso district. Let's take a look.
After a successful endeavour in the secondary school section, the Caring Heart Schools Premier League has now focused on primary school learners. The tournament is for 6 teams and is played by learners of all ages in both genders and is on a knockout basis.
And it's really very exciting to see the young blood, the kids, playing soccer, showing their skills, and so that's why we're here really. We want to invest in raw talent. These kids, I know they'll play for the Ugandan teams, and we believe that one day they will play in Premier League, in La Liga, in Serie A. That's how it begins.
In the girls section, games played, Arsenal ejected Aston Villa after a 2-1 victory, while Manchester City edged Chelsea 1-0.
We start like maybe a nursery teacher starting from A, B, C, D, E. So we are now on stage 1. Stage 1 is A, B, C, D up to Z. How to pass, how to control, how to move. That is the first stage. Second stage, we shall know how to pass the ball. We shall know the movement of the ball. That is what we are trying to do.
The dream at Caring Heart Schools is to ensure all sports disciplines are catered for to enable act as a nursery for Uganda to benefit.
Yeah, the kids who are playing today are from under 10, under 9, under 8, under 7. and we organize in different disciplines, sports disciplines. We want to see boxers being raised from here. We want to see good athletes. We want to see good swimmers.
In the boys' semi-finals, Manchester City exited Chelsea 5-4 on post-match sport kicks after the teams had played out a scoreless regulation time. In the boys' second semi-final, Chelsea outclassed Manchester United 3-1 to enter the final to be played next week. Sudat Kaye, UBC Sport.
And State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, has pledged to continue support for sports initiatives aimed at promoting talented youth in rural areas, particularly in Bamunani Luweero district. He was speaking at the finals of the Dr. Jesse Muyingo football tournament held in Chichusa Town Council, where Chichusa Ward FC emerged champions after defeating Kaziba FC with a commanding 3-1 victory.
Chichusa Ward Football Club triumphed in the just concluded Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo annual tournament after beating Kaziba FC 3-1 in an exciting match played at the Chichusa playground. All 4 goals came in the second half, with Chichusa Ward FC scoring 3 and Kaziba FC netting a consolation goal. As winners, Chichusa Ward FC walked away with a bull, while Kaziba FC, who finished second, received 1 million shillings. Other participating teams were also awarded various prizes after the 3-month-long tournament. Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo reiterated his commitment to supporting youth talent in sports and games, especially in rural areas of Luweero district.
I am hopeful that by working with the youth, Chichusa will change for the better.
He emphasized the importance of sports in the economic and social development of young people and as a tool for unity. To avoid politicizing the tournament and instead remain transparent and trustworthy for the advancement of local sports.
And that does it for News Tonight. Thank you for sticking with us. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Do have a lovely night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Every Wednesday, live in our studios in the heart of Kampala.
We have to change the political culture in this country, really. Who has bewitched Ugandans?
I want to assure you, as government, we shall do whatever it takes to ensure that Ugandans are safe.
We have conversations that have analysis, explanation.
This law society, this union of theirs, because they want a job everywhere, they want to be this, they want to be that, they want... No. We know it's a union.
You cannot be making a road, bitumen grade 1, in Congo for 5 billion.
But not every truth is fact, and not every fact is truth.
The argument that the General Court Martial is responsible for peace and stability is without basis, either in law or in fact.
We have been told how Napoleon was a great orator. Now, Napoleon cannot help me get food. They told me combine harvest in Saskatchewan. I don't know where Saskatchewan is. This is a geography we're taught. Instead of teaching me how to preserve Mabera forest, they're teaching me about Rhineland. This is a problem we got. We cannot run away from it.
Right now, you hear very disgusting stories of members of parliament. Instead of discussing the details of loans, they ask for their cuts.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
All on broadcaster. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Big thing about the MTN Super. Wali yakapia musite wali yakapia. MTN kabo the Super mustairompia. Then you kabo the smartphone nebi yakabibiona. MTN kabo the Super mustairompia. Then you kabo the smartphone nebi yakabibiona.
Get the new Kabode Super smartphone and enjoy 16 GB free. Start with a deposit of only 45,000 Uganda shillings and pay the rest mpora in daily installments of less than 1K. You can also make weekly and monthly installments. Together, our vibes are unstoppable. Terms and conditions apply.
MTN.
MTN is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission.
Amazina ganje Ninyetekwa Seruhanga John Bosco ninduga mu district ya Rukungiri byo muhanguzi wa miliyoni 16 na Uganda National Rotary nzahangwire urwo mu kuzana star 278 ngafuna message eriko mu muhanguzi nashemererwa konka nabaza kugira ngo neri y'abafere sente ziriyo zona bakaziteka ngo ko nazihangwira.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
A smile that is white, fresh and beautiful is a smile to be proud of. Discover new Colgate White and Fresh for the whole family with high quality and an incredible price.
I'd like to thank all our clients, our valued taxpayers, the people that we serve as we collect revenue for building our nation. I thank you very much for the questions you have sent through this program of URA Commissioner. On behalf of URA, I would like to pledge that we are committed and we will continue to answer all the questions that you ask through this platform. The whole purpose for this program is to ensure that your pain points, your questions are efficiently responded to. So I would like to encourage all our taxpayers who have questions to ask to please utilize this program that we are running on UBC, that will be receiving your questions through the numbers that you've been given, and URA will be available to answer these questions every Monday and every Wednesday during the 8 o'clock news bulletin. And then on Sunday, after the news, we'll have a full response to all the questions that will have come in during the week. I thank UBC for supporting us in reaching our taxpayers, and I thank our taxpayers for responding positively to this program. Thank you very much.
URA Commissioner. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Welcome to Super Soul Sisters. My name is Jamila Oluka and you're watching UBC TV Inspiring Uganda. It's such a beautiful day today because today we are having a doctor on set and we shall be talking about wellness. When they talk about wellness, you are going to understand how your body works, what you need to do as a Super Soul Sister. Because most of the ladies, when we reach 40s, we tend to look at ourselves in a different way. So today I have a doctor who's going to give us all that information. But before we delve into that, I want to welcome her.